Hey there, Summer Cohort 1 of the Online Course Redesign and Faculty Certification Program. Welcome to your last Tuesday tune-in. Anyway, it's your last tune-in for the cohort. It's a tune-in where we talk a little bit about, where we've been, where we're going, and then some final housekeeping stuff for the program. So first, I want to say thank you. Thank you for investing so much of yourself into this program, and I hope we've helped in that regard by investing a little bit into our feedback that we've been giving you as you make your way through it. You have access to this course longer than now, so you can always come back and lean into some of the stuff that's here. We do evolve the course over time, and it does change over time, so every 3 years you're eligible to come back and recertify, so know that you can do that. That being said, let's talk about where we've been. You have turned in Module 7. Module 7 should be done. If not, remember, we don't take away birthdays, but you can't earn your certification unless you complete the program. So what I would say is just to get in there and get to it when you can, obviously, but try to lean in. Wow, the assessment module. So lots of good stuff. I saw many of you when you submitted your self-assessment talked about some of the chunked or scaffolded final assignments that you do, right? So remember where we asked you if any one of your grades is 30%, right? Well, it turns out that last project was actually multiple things put together. So it wasn't just one project. You had them turn in multiple things en route to get to that last project, like a paper or we have a rough draft, a works cited, all those kinds of things, right? So that's okay. And again, there are instances where you have to have an assignment that's above that percentage, and we just try to lean into thinking about those types of things, right? There are some folks that, aren't sure about the collaborative assignment process for one reason or other, depending upon the work that they're doing in their courses. And it may not fit ultimately, and that's okay. I would encourage you that where you can, try to do collaborative assignments where the students have specific roles they have to play, right? They have specific objectives each student in that collaborative group has to meet. That way, they're not relying as much on another person. They're only responsible for their chunk. And you have a rubric that reflects that. Hey, did you do this one part of this particular thing? You tend to get more buy-in from the groups at that point because they know that they can't get by on what someone else in the group is doing. It's mostly on their own efforts. So in that respect, I think those are good ways to do collaborative problems. Another one is, I know when you're teaching process-based things, maybe logic-oriented courses like computer science or math or something like that, right? You really feel like you don't have an avenue where students can be creative. But I would like to turn that around. I would say that when you're doing those types of assignments, maybe you use like a creation assignment where a student actually has to live stream, if you will, or live record themselves working through a program, like programming a certain section of code, or working through a mathematical problem, like they are showing someone how to do the thing, right? That is a great way to create and to be able to understand it enough to explain what they're doing as they're doing it. Oh my gosh, that's a powerful assignment. So again, just a suggestion. Just use what you want, but we do like to provide help where we can. So the other things in that session, the principles of effective assessment, right? That whole unit where you had those principles that you could lean into and ones that you're already doing, the 9 principles collaboration activity, the 9 principles, sorry, and ones that you'd like to lean into. Saw some good stuff in there, places in which I hope that you'll be able to come back and share with us when you do implement those kinds of things, and that's also good. If you haven't already, remember the overall assessment of strategy activity or assignment in that unit. If you haven't submitted it, lean into the effective assessment practices for headings as you create your own strategy. So you'll see it in the instructions. What we suggest as a way to create a strategy is to put what you're doing under each one of those headings in your course where they are appropriate. Anywho, or do what you want, that's okay, but we wanted to give you at least a better way of, or not a better way, a way of thinking about it where you're not just, throwing it up on a page. So, what's next? Well, what's next, obviously, is going to be Module 8, your last module with us in the course. And here we actually talk a lot about, the kinds of support we offer you from our efforts in instructional development, faculty development, right? to the 24/7 support desk that you and your students can utilize to get assistance whenever you need it. And then lastly, the instructional design and LMS teams that are there to help you. In specific, you're going to need to, as part of one of your assignments, reach out to the instructional design team so that they can come in, set up a meeting with you. Maybe it's just a virtual meeting, a quick phone call, or a one-on-one, and then they'll award you those points so you can earn the gradebook points for that meeting. Anywho, make sure you submit that activity. And then my favorite activity, I have two favorite activities in the course, really. And one of them is the 3 statements journal. The other is the show and tell discussion. I like to see where you've been and where you're going and what you've picked up. And then I like to see what you're happy about, your show and tell of something that you've done in the course, that evidence of learning in terms of this particular program. So outside of that, once you're done, once you've made it through and we grade it, we'll send out the certification email to you and you'll know that you've made it through. We will also probably remind you to complete it if you haven't. That certification program comes with the certificate. You're looking at about 20 to 25 hours worth of work in here if you wanted to report that back anywhere. I hope you have a great day and a great rest of your week, and thank you all so much for participating. Thanks again, and have a great day.